Honest to God, when I was 21, I had moved from Oceanside to.
Wait, can I clarify real quick? Like dead, like by like suicide, or just like
no. I just things.
Okay. I'd clarify that real quick. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bridge the Gap podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Scott. Sorry about that.
Ruined my introduction. That's fine. Jerk.
Well, we're not perfect, right? Never claimed to be.
No. Well, happy Tuesday. I know people will be seeing this on Thursday, but it's Tuesday for us. Yeah. Dark and gloomy in the state of South Carolina.
Yeah, it's crappy out. Like it's rain forever, it feels like, but that's only because we didn't get rain for like 6 weeks, which, you know, if you watch us from any other part of the country, you're like, oh, okay, great, especially like the West Coast. But like here, that's a long freaking time. So we needed the rain, but good Lord, I just wish it rained without the cold. Like we jumped right into like winter. It's 48 degrees here.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I'm a cold weather person. So yesterday I woke up, it was almost pitch black in my room. Like it was dark. Yeah. And it was rainy and it was cold and I was in paradise. I'm a cold weather person. I love the rain. I love all this kind of stuff.
Oh, listen, I love the weather, but like I said, I think we just jumped from summertime to winter. Like I don't like, let's have some rain with some maybe in the 60s, you know, let's ease into the winter. But I swear when I looked earlier, it felt like it was 41 degrees out and it was pouring rain here this morning. It's like, oh my God, that's so cold.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is after this rainstorm passes, it's going to be in the 60s. So we're going to get the fall. This rainstorm just brought the cold.
Yeah. Speaking of rainstorms, hopefully that hurricane hitting Jamaica isn't as catastrophic as it probably will be. I mean, it's like the second biggest storm ever recorded with 210 mile an hour wind gusts like that. I can't even wrap my head around that. So
it's insane. It's funny though, because you know, we talk about how different generations like react to things differently, and everybody's like freaking out for Jamaica, but then like on TikTok, Gen Z is just making like jokes. Like I saw one person in Jamaica, they were in between two palm trees that were like swaying, and they were singing part of the Earth song by Michael Jackson where it's like, what about everything, what about us, and they're just totally messing around. It's just like, it's so funny,
right? But
yes, prayers up to everybody being affected by the storm, and I hope it's not going to be as catastrophic as it says it's going to be.
Yeah.
But that's all we can really do from here is thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, moving forward, you know, we've done a ton of shows. We've talked about a lot of different stuff. And a lot of the stuff that we've talked about before. So we're pretty aligned on what we agree with and what we don't. We haven't gone crazy because we're not here to argue online, although I'm sure that would get a ton more clicks. But we're also, you know, our whole goal was to just show people that a Gen X dad and a Gen Z daughter can get along and have conversations, whether it's about, we've talked about everything: discipline, parenting, liquor, drugs. I mean, you name it. We've hit a lot of it. But anyway, it goes back to what we're doing this for. And it's you and I displaying something that people just didn't display before, right? It's a Gen Z daughter and a Gen X dad talking about stuff and learning about stuff and understanding things and discussing things. And so I thought today, even though you and I do have a great relationship and we do talk about a lot of things, there's a lot of things you probably don't know about me. So I thought it might be good, although I'm a little nervous, for you to ask questions, and we'll do it in reverse. But my questions will be more about what it's like to be you now.
Yeah.
And we've done a little bit of that in just normal discussion, but what's it like to be 21 in 2000, 25 as opposed to 96 when I turned 21.
Right.
Because it is so vastly different. School, relationships, working, technology, everything is just so vastly different. So anyway, maybe we'll do that in the future. But I thought, it might be good for people to see that a daughter can ask a dad questions, and maybe it'll give them the courage to bridge the gap with their dad. So
I see what you did there.
Hey, look at
Hey.
It's almost like I'm a professional, but I'm not, so don't sue us.
So this was my dad's idea for an episode, and I took it very seriously. I have things written down and categorized by nature of the question.
I might be regretting this.
None of them honestly are that crazy, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, you get 2 plead the fifths.
Okay.
You get 2 plead the fifths. If there's one you just don't want to answer, don't answer it. You get 2 though, and I will be keeping track.
Okay.
And then I will be asking those questions again a different time when you're not on record.
10-4. I gotcha.
So the categories are life, love, drugs and alcohol, and friends.
Okay.
So again, not too crazy.
Not terrible.
So we'll start with drugs, alcohol. Let's get that one out of the way. Okay. So my first question is, what's a drink you wish you could try? In a sense of it's either just not here, or you're intolerant to a certain type of alcohol and you wish that you could try it.
So it's not so much a try, because I've certainly tried it, but I don't respond well to it, and that's tequila.
Yes.
I wish I could drink tequila, because it actually is as far as alcohol goes or liquor, it's pretty clean and not as damaging to your body as some others, and it always seemed to be involved in like fun drinks.
Yes.
So
yes,
I can have one, but there was a time you were born, not a proud moment of mine, but this is when I knew I didn't drink a lot of tequila anyway early on. But it hit a head, one time where we went over to our friend's house. You were a baby, and they enjoyed drinking, and they drank pretty they drank a lot, and they would drink a beer and then shots of tequila. So it was beer shot, not like one for one, but they just drank Coors Light and then we would do shots of tequila. And man, we had a lot. And we went home back to our apartment. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, and we put you to bed. Your mom drove and put you to bed because I was hammered. And she came out. We lived on the top floor, so it was like 4 stories up in our building. And she came outside. She came out of your room after putting you to bed, and I was standing on the outside of the railing on our balcony, looking down. So we had bushes and then the street. So the street was another like 4 feet down. No, it's probably a little farther down than that, maybe 5 feet. And I was hanging on, and she's like, "Scott, what are you doing?" I was like, "I think I can make this jump." And she was like, "No, you can't." But in my head, I was thoroughly convinced that I could jump, land in the bushes, roll out, and totally do it. And that was the last time I drank tequila in more than just a margarita. Like I just don't do it anymore. So I wish I could, because it's clean. It tastes good. It just doesn't react well. I had one other experience when I was younger where I just got aggressive. And
yeah.
So it's just, so after that, I just made the joke. They're like, "Do you like tequila?" I'm like, "Look at me. I'm not made for tequila. I'm made for
I say that
whiskey."
I say that all the time when I tell people and they're like, oh, you should try this drink. It's tequila. And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same way. Tequila just doesn't react well with me. I can have a margarita, but even from just a margarita, my tolerance is way lower.
Yeah.
And I'm already feeling tipsy. Like tequila just doesn't work for me. So I do that all the time. I'll be like,
yeah. Look how
does it look
right
like I can handle this? Right.
Yeah.
So
I don't handle it well. So I just
okay. Ooh, this one's just a quick one. Okay. Favorite and least favorite alcohol / drink.
Oh.
Go more drink then, because we know alcohol is going to be tequila for least favorite.
Yeah. Actually, least favorite. There was a time where Bacardi made a rum called 151. So
we did talk about this. Yes,
it was 151 proof, and it was strong as shit. And you could light it on fire. And it was in a lot of shots that you would light on fire back in the day. And so when I lived in Los Angeles and worked at the House Blues in Hollywood, there was a bartender, Dougie, everybody called him, big dude from Boston. And he was great, but he was a little crazy. So we used to go to a bar down the street. It used to be right across catty corner to Tower Records. None of it's there anymore, but it was a bar called Red Rocks. And that was where we would go after we were working at the house. They would come to the house for a show or something. So it was a very nice relationship between their bartenders and us. Mm-hmm. Dougie, I got phased out and cut early, and so a bunch of us went down there and we're drinking. And Dougie comes in and he's full tilt, ready to have a good time. So he's buying everybody shots, and he was buying tequila shots, ironically. So he's like, shot, you're doing a shot. And he's just going to all of us. And I was like, Dougie, I swear to God, I'll drink anything. Just, I can't do tequila. And I was like 21, 22. So goes back to the first story. I knew it was just not a good thing for me. So he's like, oh, okay. And he ordered me a 151 shot. Neat. Wasn't chilled or anything. And it was the worst freaking drink. I like, it hurts my throat to even think about now.
Oh.
So that's the worst alcohol. The worst drink is anything with Southern Comfort.
Okay, fair.
Southern Comfort. That's another story. So we were having a party at our apartment in San Diego. I was 19, I think 19 or 20. And we had I lived with 3 other guys in a 2-bedroom apartment. Like, that's probably something your generation would never even think of doing, to share a bedroom with somebody. But we had 2 twin beds in one room, 2 twin beds in another room, a bathroom in the middle, living room, kitchen. I mean, it was a tiny little place. And so we had a bunch of people over, and we were playing the game Asshole, and I ran out of beer. So I gave my cup. I used to drink out of a big gulp cup.
Oh, I think you told this story.
Did I tell
on my
story?
Birthday episode?
Oh,
yes,
maybe I did. Yeah, so
you did. Yes.
Like,
Southern Comfort.
I need drinks. So she got me 100 proof Southern Comfort.
Yeah,
and I threw up for days. Those are the 2 that I just can't. My favorite drink, it depends on the season. Like when I'm like in a tropical place, I love tropical drinks. I'm 50. I'm clearly not worried about my ego, but I love frozen margarita or tequila, not a tequila sunrise so much, but like a Mai Tai, something real.
I don't like those.
Something kind of fruity and stuff like that. When it's cold like this, I love bourbon. Or like Bailey's on the rocks. Like those are my favorite. In the summertime, when it's hot and I'm around the house.
When the weather gets hot.
Yeah, it's a good beer. You know what I mean? Like a nice cold lager. Nothing too heavy. But my go-to for anything is vodka. I mix vodka with anything. That's just kind of the standard easy type.
See, and thing. You know me, I'm a rum person.
Yeah.
So like my go-to is like a rum and Coke.
How do you not like
Easy.
a Mai Tai then?
I don't know. I remember having it in Punta Cana. Maybe I'll have to try it again, but I remember having it in Punta Cana and I don't like it.
Yeah.
But my recent drink of choice is a Moscow Mule.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but recently I will gulp those down. They're so good.
Very popular. I only like those a little bit. The ginger beer gets to me.
I mean, yeah, I can only have like 1 or 2 because same, like the ginger beer, just like after a while, I'm just like,
yeah.
But it's still always a good one.
Yeah.
All right. I've got two more from this one.
Okay.
What is a drug you would try if consequences didn't exist?
Heroin.
So, zero hesitation.
Yeah. Zero hesitation. Because the reason why it's zero hesitation, people might like fall out of their chairs if they just watch that.
I almost did. But I was getting ready to explain, like, no cops, you can't die, and you were just like, heroin.
Yeah. Well, because I've seen it. I've seen people do it. I've seen how people are on it firsthand. And then you have all the rock stars from the 80s that I grew up with that were all did it or still do it. Maybe, I don't know. They probably don't if they're still alive, but they did it and what they described it as. And I was a huge music fan growing up. I mean, it was the thing that I wish I would have pursued for my life. I just love music. And so all my heroes were those 80s rock bands, right? I mean, the Motley Crues, the Rats, the Metallicas, the Iron Maidens, the Megadeths, Slayer. I can go on and on and on. Poison. I mean, I listened to all of it. If it had guitars and a singer and drums, I listened to it. So, and they all talk about it in the behind the musics that they used to air on VH1. And it just always looked like, wow, like to feel that relaxed and that just kind of disconnected just always seemed to be amazing. And it has to be amazing because everybody that does it gets addicted to it like this. Yeah. So it must be amazing. It just must be. But I've never done it. And I don't have any drug like tendency anyway. You know what I mean? Like, like with surgeries and stuff, like I had full on sinus reconstruction surgery and tonsils taken out as an adult, which is a horrible surgery. So I would get liquid opium, you know, like liquid hydrocodone and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So you would think, dude, you just pour a shot of that in your freaking coffee, you're going to feel great all day. I threw them all away. Like they all expired so I don't have, we talked about this before. I don't have an addictive personality, but that would be the one that if I ever did it once, it would be the one that would prove that wrong. And so there's no way, but
interesting. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't expecting heroin, but I'm not disappointed in the answer.
It's a pretty good answer.
I would have said Coke.
Well,
but that's because I'm tired.
But this isn't about you. This is about me. So stop interjecting
all
of your stuff.
See how I just quickly put it in and then I'm done?
You keep pushing in and then you...
Okay, whatever. Okay, this one's a hypothetical.
Okay.
So, what would your excuse story have been if your mom caught you with anything in high school?
That's a good question.
Are you blaming it on a friend?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. But that would only have worked after sophomore year in high school, because up until my sophomore year in high school, my best friend at the time, Ben, he was a good dude and
goody two shoes.
Yeah, a little bit, but like my mom always credits Ben for saving my path, because he moved to San Diego in middle school. And I was nuts. I was crazy. And my mom swore that I was either going to be dead or in jail by the time I was 18. And that was a pretty fair assessment. And then Ben moved, and his dad was in the military. He was in the Navy. He was in the JAG Corps, so he was an attorney for the Navy. And so they were just really straight. And Ben and I just had a connection that was just impossible to manufacture. And so he kind of helped me kind of right-sized myself. So that excuse wouldn't have worked while Ben lived. And then he left, and then he moved after our sophomore year, unfortunately. But yeah, but I didn't really party or do anything until after he left either. So the excuse would have been like, no, it's my buddies. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that's probably what it was.
I can't believe he left that here. Like, what an idiot.
God, dang. But I mean, like I had to take I took the fall in a couple things. I drank all of the liquor in my parents' liquor cabinet, which was a cabinet underneath the kitchen counter, like the bar.
Oh, yeah.
There was a cabinet under there. So I drank all of it, not me, but having people over and stuff. And so then my sister had her engagement party at their house. So they busted out all the liquor, and I did what a lot of people have done. I filled them up with tea or water. And so they go to make a drink and it's not good. And my dad, dude, I thought they were going to kill me. So, and I was only 20 when my sister had her engagement party. So her husband, her fiance at the time, he had to drive me to the liquor store. Or I drove because I could drive, but he had to go with me. And I had to buy hundreds of dollars worth of alcohol to replenish it. So
I mean, that's fair.
I used that excuse then. No, my friends, I had friends over. And I mean, I did that even at 20.
I can't control them.
Control
okay.
That.
All right. So we'll move to friends. I only have 3 questions on this one. They're very, they can be short, really. They're just quick.
Okay.
What do you think is the key to a healthy friendship?
Well, it changes with age.
Well, like in general, though, like what through all ages, what has been one key thing that has helped you maintain healthy friendships? Just like regardless of age.
Yeah, that's a tough question. I think honesty would have to be there. Lack of judgment. That which becomes a lot harder as you get older, because as you get older, you establish your personality and your priorities, and you have a mature outlook on things. And if your friends don't see it the same way, it's hard to be friends with them. You know, like there's other influences. Like we talked about parenting. Like if somebody doesn't parent their kids well with consequences, it's hard to stay friends with them, because when you're over there, you're like, oh, I want to pop that kid. You know what I mean? So it's hard. And that's what I mean. It changes over time, right? But priorities, goals, as an adult, as a kid, it doesn't really matter what your friends want to do with their lives, but as you get older, you want to surround yourself by people that pull you up, not pull you down.
Yes.
And in middle school, high school, even in college, you don't really care about people pulling you up. You're just there to have fun, and you're learning who you are, and you're trying to figure things out. And
I care.
No, I mean, pull it down. So an example, like professionally,
okay.
Like that type of stuff. So
yeah, professionally, I don't care.
Right. So the same priorities, same goals, and then honesty, I think, are probably the biggest thing.
So then the second question is kind of just in tandem with that, I think. What's an absolute deal breaker in a friendship? Like an immediate, they do it and you're just like, all right, I'm out.
Oh, that's a good one. There have been times where people criticized me or the family. And they didn't criticize it to me. They criticized it to the neighborhood or whatever. Yep. Like that's a deal breaker. I'm done. I'm too old to deal with drama. So if I did something that bothered you, and you can't even come to me to communicate it, then you're done, and there's been lots of people that have come and gone in my adult life because of that, right? There's been others that have come and gone because those priorities shifted that I just said. They weren't honest, or they didn't have the same goals, or they didn't share the same vision, or their parenting ways were terrible, and you just kind of like, I just don't feel comfortable being around there. And then there's been people where, listen, I'm a strong personality. I think everybody knows that. And so if we're at a neighborhood party or something and I said something or did something and you don't have the balls to come and tell me that bothered you later, and all you did was just gossip and talk about it all the time around the neighborhood, then that's a deal breaker. And that's happened in our current neighborhood. There's several people that I don't talk to like I used to. And then there's people that don't talk to me. And when I call them on it, they won't say anything. Like I've literally said to something, you're different now. Like, what's changed? And they're like, nah, blah, blah, blah. And they just pass it off instead of going, well, you said this or you did this. So they're not adult about it. So I don't have time for that shit. When I put a pool in the house, I know a lot of people had comments about that.
I do remember that.
In the neighborhood, and that were show offs or something because, it just so happened that year we bought a new car for your mom and we put a pool
It just so
in.
happened that you've worked hard enough to be able to afford the luxuries that you've always wanted. Right. So God forbid.
Right. And so, and the other thing too is like, my parents.
See, now I'm going to get mad and protective, but continue.
My parents lived in California. My family lives in California. It's only recently that we have family that lives here. So from 2007 to 2019, nobody lived here. It was just us. So when something happened, we would post it on Facebook so your grandparents could see, or your aunt and uncle or friends. And so people interpreted that as showing off, and, and it's like, no, we're sharing our life with people that can't share it with us here. But once again, people make their assumptions. They make their comments. They don't have the guts or the courtesy or the honesty or the courage really to come and talk to me and be like, hey man, that looks like you're kind of showing off, like blah blah blah, and I would respect that 1,000 times over than just talking shit. So that's the deal breaker. If I'm consuming your thoughts so much that you have to talk shit when I'm not even there, as a 50-year-old guy, I don't have any time for you. I got too much other shit to worry about.
Fair enough. And you answered my third question in that answer, so we'll just skip right over that one. All right. We'll do love. We'll save life last, because these are one of the ones. Those are more of the long-winded ones.
Stories.
Yeah.
I'm trying to share stories though, so that you get more than this or that. I'm trying to share stories with you that you might not have heard before.
Yeah.
So
no, I get it.
Or shock you my heroin answer.
That one was crazy. The life ones are just definitely ones that I'm expecting, expecting a story.
Yeah.
So we'll go to love and we'll finish with life. So my first question is, what's an expectation people have for romantic relationships that you find overrated?
Oh, man. Yeah, that's an interesting question, because it changes with age too, So, and I feel it changes with age. I feel it changes with how long you've been with someone too. Your mom and I have been together almost 25 years. So, obviously my expectations are different than they were 25 years ago. I mean, it's half my life I've been with your mom. That's wrap your head around that one. Overrated, man. I don't know if I have one that I can say it's overrated.
I have one.
I think in some relationships, they feel like they have to have their own space or their own maybe bank account or their own personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've never found that to be something that I felt. Now, when you're younger, it's easy to get lost who you are in the relationship because you're young. And I certainly did it. I was thinking about that this morning, where it was almost like stalker-ish, but I didn't know it was until I was older. So anyway, I didn't understand I didn't separate relationship with everything else when I was younger, right? So my girlfriend got a job at Costco, I got a job at Costco.
Okay,
we just we just blended everything.
Yeah,
right.
That makes sense though.
I don't mean that. But as you're older, your mom and I have the same bank account. I don't have a man cave. I don't think you have to define what's yours and what's not yours in a relationship,
right? Because it's a partnership.
Yeah, so that's
okay.
That's the best way I can answer it. I don't know if it's overrated. Listen, I know people that have separate everything, where the wife's paycheck goes into her account, the husband goes into his, and then they have a joint account for shared expenses, and that just seems all too difficult. I mean, you're in a relationship. You've been together for a long time. You freaking stood up in front of God and the world to commit to each other, and you still have to separate stuff out. That just doesn't seem It just doesn't seem value added to me.
I think the only way that I can like, because I feel the same way, once you get married, then like what's yours is mine and what's mine is yours kind of thing. But like the only kind of exception I guess I'd have to that is like, if you know, like if I got married to a guy, but I know he was like a frivolous spender and like no matter what I did, he just like can't control himself, then I'd be like, okay, well,
yeah, but you
knew keep that over
in.
there, like.
But you knew that going in, so you have to have those conversations before it happens. But I get I get your point, but that's my that's my counterpoint is if you're willing to commit to somebody forever, because that's the goal.
Yeah.
Then you should know that stuff already, and you should have that conversation. You should understand what your limits are, and you should have regular budget discussions. Your mom and I still do. It's like, listen, we spent a lot of money last week. This week, that was loud.
Sorry.
This week, we're not going to go out as much as we did last week. Like, it's a constant, continual conversation. But overrated, I mean, you know, it's hard because as you get older, I was a hopeless romantic when I was younger. Hopeless. And I've already talked about that. Nobody found me desirable until I was like a senior in high school. And I mean, I had a girlfriend before that, but I didn't, you know, I made mixtapes. I wrote poetry. I would surprise with flowers and car. I mean, I would go.
Now you're answering another question that
Okay. Well, I would go all out. And, you know, as you get older, some of that's a little overrated, right? Especially if you're in a relationship for a long time. Like, I mean, there's only so many cards and mixtapes you can make for someone that you've been with for 25 years, even though you can't make tapes anymore. But I think you understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. You can make playlists, though.
Yeah, you could if your wife would click the link to create her own Spotify account.
Oh, my God. We're not doing this right now. Okay.
After 6 years.
So, this one is more attuned to mom. So get in mom mind space. Get in Stephanie's mind space.
Okay.
What was the first thing that attracted you to mom?
Her smile.
Oh, yeah. She does have a gorgeous smile.
Yeah. So this, you know, I was working at a restaurant. I moved back home from Los Angeles because I realized I didn't want to be working until 3 a.m, even though the money was fantastic. I just couldn't see raising a family and trying to be a bartender or server for my whole life. I just didn't. A lot of people do it. I was helping clean the restaurant at 3 a.m. one time after a show, and I looked around and everybody was older than I was, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. And some of them had kids, but you made such good money. I mean, we're talking the mid to late 90s, and I would make $200 to $500 a night. I mean, it was insane money. So I moved home, got a job at a restaurant, went back to school, lived with my parents for a little while, and was having a great time. Like, the partying and fun didn't end just because I left LA back to San Diego. So I was having a great time. The restaurant manager was a good friend of mine. We were going out every night after work. We were having a ball, meeting as many people as we possibly could meet. And then they're like, he's transferring to Old Town and we're getting a new manager. And it's a girl. And I had heard through the grapevine that she was already with somebody. So it was really, for me at 25, I was like, ugh. I'm losing my drinking buddy. I'm losing my hangout buddy. I'm losing my work buddy for some chick that's already in a relationship. This is going to suck. So she came and she started working, and part of working was training. And so I was bartending, and I was a little crazy. And there was a door right from the bar into the kitchen. And so I always made jokes and had a great time. And I had opened the door into the kitchen and I said something, and people laughed, but I heard her laugh. And so I had to look through the kitchen window between the warmers and the shelf. And there was your mom. She's wearing a hat. She's behind the line learning how to cook for the restaurant. And I saw her and she was smiling. And I was like, that was the first thing I noticed. She laughed at my joke, and her smile was great.
She laughed at my
She
joke.
laughed at my
Plus,
joke.
That's a laugh you don't forget.
No, she's got a great laugh, especially when she gets going. It's hilarious. Like when she gets going and can't stop, funny. It's so damn funny.
It is so funny. Especially when the two of you are doing it, because she's such a loud laugher.
Yeah.
And when you get going, you're a wheezer. So she's over here just like for the neighborhood to hear.
Yeah.
And you're giggling and wheezing. And when the two of you both get going, I have to leave the room or I'm going to pee my pants at my grown age.
Yeah,
like
funny.
I can't do it.
She's funny.
That's why I love when people tell me that I have mom's smile, because that I also have always noticed mom's smile. Yeah. It's just very pretty.
It is.
That, and she's both just so funny.
Both of you. Yeah.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
I like that. And what you probably also like too is that she has the same dirty sense of humor, especially for a girl. So that was probably really easy for you to just
Yeah, I mean, we got along from the get-go. I mean,
yeah.
And it was great because we were just friends and work buddies because we always closed together.
Yeah.
And even though she was with somebody else, we just had a great time, And I even remember saying if she wasn't with somebody, I'd be with her in a heartbeat. And I said it right in front of her. But that's how our relationship was, even as friends. It was just it was just like that easy. And then
flirty.
And then it just, grew from there.
Oh, she's going to see that clip and cry.
She might.
She might.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's a long time ago. It's a long time ago.
It is not nice.
I was a lot younger in her.
Stop. So to stay kind of with mom as the focus, what do you believe is the key to a healthy marriage?
Oh man, it's the same as whatever you would hear, right? It's communication, honesty. You have to have each other's best interests as a priority, and that includes the family, right? You have to enjoy each other. She's still my best friend. I still, if a buddy comes into town, is like, hey, let's go grab a beer. I'll be like, it's cool. Steph comes. It's just, you just gotta be, I don't know. And we've had a lot of hard times early on. We fought a lot. We had a lot of disagreements, but we didn't give up on each other. Although I thought I did. I thought I was supposed to, when we first started going out.
Dude, I love this story.
We got in an argument, a pretty good one. And I was like, well, I guess we're done. I was like, I guess that was it. There's an episode in Friends where Chandler and Monica first start dating and they get in an argument. And he was like, well, this was a good ride. And she's like, what are you talking about? We had an argument. That was your mom and I. I was like, okay. Because I didn't, after my girlfriend and I broke up, she broke up with me. I was 19, I think. And that broke my heart. I didn't have a serious girlfriend until I met your mom. I went 6 years without, this is my girlfriend. I mean, I dated a couple people, and a couple people I'd bring to dinner and meet my parents, but nothing serious. So when we got in an argument, I was like, oh, that was it, So anyway.
I do love that story because I've heard mom's perspective of it too.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Where she's like, because I asked her, I was like, because she's 3 years older than you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, did you ever feel that age difference? She goes, once.
Yeah.
And she told me that story. And she was like, I remember just looking at him and being like, you effing idiot. That is not what this is. Yeah. And she was like, so it's funny because I've heard her perspective of the story, but it makes me laugh every time when you're like, oh. She, in her words, she said that you said we had a good run.
I think is what I said, didn't I?
And she was funny. Like, what do you mean?
And it was 4 months. It was a high school relationship. You know what I mean? It was 4 months was a good run. But that's how my brain worked. I think, patience, understanding, prioritizing each other. I mean, we still try and go out at least once a week with just us two, whether it's for a happy hour or for dinner. you got to find those ways to stay connected, and it's really hard. And your mom and I had moments in our relationship where we weren't connected, and so that those priorities are hard to maintain. And we weren't connected because of anything, but like I worked nights for years, and she worked days, and so I wouldn't see her for days on end. And you when you were first born,
and so, you had a newborn kid.
I was trying to finish school. I mean, just a lot of pressure. And so, yeah, it's easy for you to go find something easier or convenient. But at the end of the day, you just gotta make sure each other's priorities are a priority, and you have to understand, and you have to communicate. Your mom and I, we had friends that would fight, and we know they would fight, but they never talked about it. And so, your mom and I would watch, and it was like, I think your mom even asked one of her friends once, like, "Why you guys just were together, just the two of you without the kids and stuff? Why didn't you talk about it?" "Well, I didn't want to ruin a good night." And it's like, well, then you never address the issue. So then it just piles on, and you just carry that baggage over and over and over. I think your mom and I are really good at getting rid of that baggage, having the conversations, because we do get on each other's nerves a lot, especially now. I mean, that's not to say we're in trouble or anything. It's just I traveled a lot for work for years, and now I'm not traveling as much, so I'm home. So it changes the whole dynamic of the house.
Yeah, it does.
And so you get on each other's nerves. She wants to watch a bunch of foo-foo girly shit, and I don't. I just want to watch sports all the time. So you argue about that and get on each other's nerves about that stuff. So you just have to keep it. You have to keep it open and honest, and prioritize each other, and have the hard conversations. You gotta have the hard conversations.
Gotta have the hard conversations. That's something that I've had to tell even friends, even when it regards their other friends, is it's not comfortable, but it's not supposed to be. Anything worth having is not going to be comfortable. So
yeah,
all right. That was a good answer.
Thank you.
So then my last one for the love category, since you already answered one of the other ones, is what is your favorite part about being a husband/father?
Oh, geez Louise.
Well, and you can answer them obviously separate.
They're different, right? Like watching you and your brother succeed, nothing's better. Like there's nothing better. Like whether it's scholastically, there was a memory that came up the other day where a teacher wrote us, your mom and I, an email when you're in high school praising you as a person. That's the best. Or when it was sports and you made clutch hit or a clutch catch, or like those moments are just so freaking cool. And same thing for your brother, right? When when we get feedback from his teachers, or even he worked this past summer and they're like, he's the hardest working kid. Like, just, you guys have that when you display the values and you display the values that we try to instill in you with work ethic and honesty and 100% and all that kind of stuff, and then you get rewarded for it. There's nothing better on earth than that. Nothing. I would give up every success I had to give to you and your brother. Every success for you guys to have. It's the best. For mom, for her, I just like being able to provide a lifestyle that makes her happy. And that doesn't necessarily mean material things, but when we can do things and it just brings that happiness to her outside
like
of
the
you
little
and your brother,
dates.
like the little dates, and we'll laugh and joke during the date, or going to Antigua for our 20th anniversary and just
I don't want to know anything you did on that trip.
How much that trip meant to her, because it was a freaking amazing trip. Like, it was just it was my favorite vacation I've ever taken. But just to watch her during that trip, sitting in the beach or in the water, or just the calm and the happiness and the satisfaction that she had in the moment of her life, that gives me a great amount of happiness.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like the dad one I kind of knew the answer to already, but the husband one is interesting. That was the more important part of the question I wanted to know.
I think, I think I'm unique. Maybe, well, I'm not unique. Let's backtrack. I think it's hard. It's hard for people to understand that when a husband loves a wife and his family as much as I think I do, everything I do is for the three of you and the three dogs. Everything, every motivation. So if it's going to the gym, even though that's a selfish thing for me and I got to do it, my long-term thinking is I got to be healthy because genetically my dad had this or my mom has this, and I want to be around. I want to see my grandkids. Right? So even though it's for me, my brain still works like that. Like, how does it benefit, being fit benefits your mom because I'm healthy and I'm attractive. It helps my kids because I'm healthy and I'll be here for them as they get older. My work, I grew up thinking I was going to play professional soccer. I never thought I'd have a job. And so today I wrote a business plan for what I do because I'm a business development manager. And I kept sitting here going, ugh, like I don't enjoy that. I do it because I'm good at it and I've been successful in my life with finding a way to be successful. But I do it because it affords our life and it affords opportunities. So everything I do, recreationally, professionally, almost personally, like I'm going to run to the store now after we're done so that your mom doesn't have to stop by the store after work. Like everything I do is for the family. And so I don't know if everybody thinks like that. And so that's why it makes me the happiest when that stuff gets recognized, whether it's direct or indirect.
Yeah.
Whether it's a smile or a hug, just that gratification there's nothing better.
How sweet.
See, I'm not just a crusty old guy. I got a heart.
I've got a heart.
I do. It's somewhere in there.
Okay. So for life questions, I originally had 5, but I think you kind of answered 2 of them.
Okay.
As you went through the other questions. So we'll start with kind of one of the easier ones, I think, for you is if politics were not a factor, what other country would you live in?
Oh.
So like not the United States, obviously, because that's boring.
So I don't know if I have one answer. I have a couple.
Okay.
I just mentioned Antigua. I would move to Antigua and live there at any point. If I could sell this house and take that equity, I could retire down there. It would be great. I would do it. It's just such a great country and great people, and just loved it. But my favorite part of the world that I've been to has been, and certainly politics do play a role now, but were the Scandinavian countries of Denmark, Sweden. It's just such a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, politically changes Bill Maher talked about it on his show the other day about Sweden and how different it is now because of their policies.
Mm-hmm.
But you said without politics. So if I could go
without
back,
politics,
I first went there in 1990. And it's just the people are unbelievably attractive people, men and women. I mean, they're just crazy. It's just crazy. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, now I don't know what it's like. They're very nice. Tons of outdoor activities to do. I mean, it's just a great, great part of the world. So that would be my choice, I guess. I mean, I'd love to, at one point I wanted to move to Australia because your mom has Australian family members, so it would be easy to move down there, and not easy, but it's very hard to get visas and work visas and stuff in some of those countries.
Yeah.
Although once again, politically, maybe not the same as it was 20 years ago, but I'm
glad you guys didn't though. I wouldn't have made it with all the bugs and everything.
I would love, that's just kind of those, man, that'd be cool to try and live like New Zealand. I met a bunch of New Zealanders in Hawaii when I went there. And they just seem so cool and kick back, and like
they're very protective over New Zealand, though.
Oh hell yeah, you can't get in there.
No,
preserves natural resources and way of life and everything else. But they were so cool and funny, and the country is gorgeous if you look at pictures. So, I have those visions and dreams just based on pictures, but from actually being there, Sweden or Denmark, those were the best. Norway.
That's not what I was expecting, honestly.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Where'd you think?
England, because you could live in Manchester.
Oh, no. No.
No.
I mean, if I lived in Denmark or Sweden, I could easily fly.
Just
there.
yeah.
It's not that far.
Okay. Do you ever wish that you went to college traditionally?
Yes, I do. It was way different for me than it is for you. We talked about that already. But like you've gone to two big Southern schools.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina, part of the SEC, and now you're at Clemson, part of the ACC, both that have been around since the 1800s. Tons of tradition, tons of alumni, tons of heritage. And then you have SEC football and Clemson football, which besides not counting this year, take all that out, is just amazing, right? And I didn't do that, right? I went to play soccer, didn't work out, came home, went to junior college, quit, partied for a while, came back, went to a school that had like 4 buildings, because it was still being built, no dorms, no
dorms was a blessing, though. You did experience the blessing of a no dorm.
I know, but it was and then I finished online and a little bit of in person. I did both, so I don't have any connection to my secondary education. I'm a fan of SC because you went there, and it's the Go Cox, right? But now you're in Clemson and you're so much happier there. So I'm like, go Tigers. It's so, and I like both, which is you're not supposed to do, but I do. And I just love that people of my generation that went to, Texas or Texas A&M, like my boss, or, whatever, Florida, they just are so committed to it. And they just had so many experiences that I just never had. Because even San Diego State, their football team played at where the Chargers played. Like there was no on-campus thing. It was just so different. So yeah, I'm envious of that because I took. It took 11 years for me to finish my degree. Not all at once. I mean, otherwise I'd be called a doctor like Tommy Boys. But yeah, I do. I wish I would have done it.
It's always interesting to me to hear that too. I know it's not my turn to tell stories, but I definitely, looking back, if I knew college was gonna be the way it is now, I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah, it's different.
Just time. Honestly, I wouldn't have gone because
it's a different time.
It's a much different time, and I see more negatives to it than positives. Well, I mean, I know somebody who has a degree, was trying to get a job, couldn't get a job, took the degree out of their LinkedIn and got 6 interviews 2 hours later. It's so what the hell's the point of me getting this in the first place?
It's a totally different environment unless there's a specialty field, but it is. I mean, without getting political, a lot of the university stuff they almost feel like indoctrination.
Yes.
Institutions instead of a place for higher
education.
Higher learning and understanding. But, listen, if you still want to be a doctor or an attorney or an engineer, I mean, there's a lot of fields where you have to still.
100%.
But listen, when we moved out here, if I didn't finish my degree, we wouldn't be where we are now because I went into retail management and the retailer wouldn't hire you to be a manager unless you had a college degree. And that was in 2007. So just goes to show you how quickly
times changed.
All that changed.
So for the last one.
There's only one more?
Yes, because you answered 2 more throughout your stories previously.
I do that.
You do that. But that's okay. So the last one, and it was the first one that I wrote down. Where did you think you were going to be at this point when you were 21?
When I was 21?
Yes. So if you're me right now, when you thought of yourself at 50 years old, where do you think you'd be? And don't give me a cliche of like worldwide artist or
no,
superstar playing with Ronaldo. Give me the raw, honest answer.
The honest answer is I thought I'd be dead. If you really want to know the truth.
Damn you, the heroin and now this?
I'm being honest. Honest to God, when I was 21, I had moved from Oceanside to...
Wait, can I clarify real quick? Like dead like by like suicide or just like...
No. I just... Okay. Just things.
Okay. I'd clarify that real quick. I was about to be like, nah, cut the cameras. We need to have another conversation.
No, I mean, I had moved to Hollywood. I lived in an East Hollywood area called Los Feliz. I lived in a studio apartment. I had no friends. I didn't have a job. I just moved because I just needed to find more than just living in San Diego County. And so it was hard. It was a hard time. My parents had sold their house that I grew up in. They moved to Arizona. My sister lived in Texas. All of my closest friends from high school weren't really friends with me anymore. Not because we did anything, but they moved. They went to different parts of the country for school. So I didn't have a whole lot at all. Like I didn't have anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so if I look back at how I was at 21, I didn't have the foresight to even envision anything for far. But I did slip into kind of how I was when I was an adolescent, where I just did whatever. And with that attitude, that's why my mom thought I'd be dead or in jail. And that kind of reciprocated itself between 21 and 25 22 23. No, because then I got the job at the House of Blues and I had friends. My roommate was my brother-in-law's good buddy from high school because he was the exec chef, and he and I got along great. And then we started living great. Like we lived in a 3-story townhouse and a courtyard. We had a Playboy playmate that lived 2 houses down. Billy Idol's ex-girlfriend, baby mama, lived across the courtyard. So we'd had parties and we were making great money. Like we'd break a TV and I'd be like, shit. And I'd get up the next day and I'd drive down to the mall and buy a new TV because I had thousands of dollars of cash in my room because I was making great money. So it changed pretty soon after, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at 21 was a rough year. I was doing whatever. Whatever was coming across, I was doing. And I was fearless about everything. And that could lead to not surviving. So I just didn't think about anything other than the next day. Because to me, I had nothing else to live for except for the next day. My family was gone, out of the state.
Yeah.
Most of my friends were out of the state. I quit a job. I gave my 2 dogs to my grandmother so that I could move.
That one always makes me sad.
But she, it was good because she needed protection. She lived by herself after my grandfather died. And so I gave her my dogs. I sold my drum set. Like everything that I had wanted, I gave it all away. So I really had nothing. And I put myself there, which was an incredible test personally to strip yourself of a good job. You lived in a good area. You had a drum kit. You had dogs. You had furniture. You had food. You were going to school, you had friends, you had roommates. Like I gave all of that and stretched my capacity as a human being to be completely void of anything familiar and comfortable at 21. So when I look back at the question, I didn't think I'd be around because I couldn't see far enough to see that anyway.
Okay. So like it's normal at 21 to just kind of feel like a little bit like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing?
I would say 98% of the world's population probably feels that way at that age. I would think. I mean, there's some rare people that just know what they're destined to do.
Yeah.
Or they're born with some God-given gift to be who they are. Jordans and there's actors, there's athletes, there's teachers, there's people that are born and very early on, they know what they're meant to do.
Yeah.
But I swear, if you would have asked me, my 21-year-old self, hey, at 50, you're going to be a business development guy for a logistics company. You're going to have 2 kids. You're going to live in South Carolina. I would have been like, I will give you 0 credit that you're right on any of that. That will all be wrong. That will all be wrong. None of it's right. And so
the South Carolina part gagged.
Here I am. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's probably it.
Cool. Well, that's pretty much all I have.
Did you learn something?
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Dad wants to do heroin.
I was actually surprised you didn't ask me, like, what was my most proud moment? What was my most sad moment? What was it like to be a kid in the 70s and 80s? Like, you went deeper than the surface stuff that I thought you would go to. Which
surprises me that you thought I was going to be surface, because I'm not surface about many things.
No, I know, but like I
know how great it was to grow up in the 70s and 80s, because I hear you and Mom talk about it all the time, and I get it. Like, I got it. But it was awesome.
But I don't share a lot of who I was as a young person. Like,
well, you said that you were a tyrant. You were a tyrant until middle school, and then you were a little sad and lonely. And then you were crazy, and then you settled down.
Sure.
Put
that on my headstone. That's the quote.
He was a tyrant, then he was sad, and then he was lonely, crazy.
Then he was crazy, and then he was content. God rest his soul. That's it. That's all he's got.
You know what's funny, though, is you seem to me like there's a cliche about like guys nowadays, and I'll probably cut this part out, but it's funny to tell you anyway, where every guy who has ever played a sport will tell you they could have gone pro if they hadn't had this injury. And I feel like if you were 21 nowadays, you would have told that same damn story. You know, I could have gone pro if I didn't like tear my ACL. I could have gone pro if like I didn't hurt my elbow my senior year of football. And you're just sitting there and you're just like, oh, cool. So was the guy that I was hanging out with last night. Right. So would have been nice to see you guys in the NFL. I get like, it just like, yeah, that is the keystone story. And so I feel like you totally would have been one of those.
Yeah. I mean,
which you actually did have legit injuries that ended your career.
But I did go to Europe and played and made a team that I had to try out for. And we went to Europe, and wasn't a club team, and it wasn't a college team. It was a select team. So I really truly did think that was what I was going to do. But then I did get hurt. But then I went back and played in college and
JUCO.
Just didn't enjoy it, even though I think I was like all state or second team all state or something, and I just didn't enjoy it the same way. So if you don't enjoy the challenge, you're never going to make it, because that's what I did learn when I went over to Europe. The American mentality is so much softer than the European mentality when it comes to the sport of soccer or football or whatever you want to call it. They're light years ahead of us emotionally and mentally, just light years. They at like 9 years old, those kids are like, oh yeah, put in the work, bitch. Like, what's your problem? You know, as opposed to here, we're like, oh, but they're only 9. It's just a completely different mentality. It was back then for sure.
That's I was gonna say, I don't know about now, because if you go on TikTok, some of these English people that like comment on videos, we're all just like, bro,
right. Well, that's what? But that's why you're right. It's probably different now, but that's why David Beckham's and the class of 92, right? They're all my age. They're 17 years old. Ryan Giggs, he was playing Premier League soccer at 16 years old. Their mentality and commitment level is just so light years ahead. But I wish I would have been able to mirror that and commit to it the way that they do. But here I am. If I really would have done it right, I would have coached. I would have started coaching, which I did. I coached at 19, 20, but I would have stayed on that path and to be a college coach or to be a MLS coach, which didn't exist when I was 21. But if it did, like, that would have been pretty freaking awesome. I guess MLS did exist at 21. It just started. Just started. But, well, 94 was the World Cup. The 94 World Cup was here. And so then we started the MLS in 95 or 96. So if I would have done it right, I would have done that instead of just chasing the fact that I could make $400 by picking up a shift on a Friday night at the House of Blues. I just chased the money instead.
Real.
So
listen,
good times.
That restaurant money is easy, but this was a good episode. I thought it was very enlightening, very interesting.
Yeah, hopefully you learned something about your old dad.
I did.
Cool.
I learned a few things. I do have one question I want to ask you when we're off record, though.
Okay. Good way to end
But anyway, thanks everybody for tuning. Keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about my dad a little bit and a little bit of what it was like to be Gen X. And a 50-year-old dad.
Yeah.
Who's still kicking it.
Trying to.
Kicking it.
Although I look old, but I'm
No, you
trying.
don't.
I look at
so
this.
Dramatic.
What my brain
Embrace
sees
it.
compared to what shows up is different.
Embrace it.
I know. All right, kid.
Well,
good episode. Right. Thank you.
Good episode. You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll talk to you guys later on the next episode.
Yeah. See you guys next Thursday.
Go watch the whole thing. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Whoop.
All right, you're cut off. Bye.
Bye.